Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Welcome back. Looks like we had a little bit of activity during the lunch hour. It was a little consolidation for about 2 hours prior to lunch, and then we saw another leg of expansion here. So we're in price discovery now as we breached the all-time high this morning during the 10 o'clock hour, and then once again during lunch we've now taken all-time high once again. And so right now we're not really sure how far price wants to push higher. But we do. I took a look at the other indices, and we are not in sync at the moment. NQ is kind of doing its own thing, pushing higher. So we'll let price discovery continue to show us where it wants to go, and we'll look and see based on some Fibonacci extensions or some standard deviations where we think price may go. But as of right now, we are in uncharted territory, and so should be cautious if you're looking for a long, not knowing exactly how far it will push. And if you do, make sure that your targets are somewhere local where you're looking for, I don't know, 10, 20, 30 points, somewhere in there. I wouldn't be looking for, monumental swings in price today. Also, we got to remember there isn't any high impact news today. We did have an orange folder earlier, but no red folders today. Also, no red folders tomorrow. So let's keep that in mind as we go through our trading. Two standard deviations on the 15 minute. All right, Queen, you're on the 15 minute there. Let me go back and see where I am as far as levels I had marked. All right, I still have 1.25 standard deviation from the big move down at 18,878. So let me see if I can't show you how I calculated that. So I think I grabbed this from the weekly, if I'm not mistaken. All right, I think this was based off of the pullback from Q4 of last year. So we had that pullback down here. We had one standard deviation. It's located at 18,597, which we eclipsed early back in February. Two standard deviations is at 2630. Obviously, 1.5 standard deviation somewhere here in the center, around 629-ish. In fact, let me just put a fib on that. Okay, here he is. And now as we get to 1.25 standard deviation, we'll put that here. That one and this one. All right, and then we'll get back down to the lower time frame here. Just see where we are. Oh, I know what I did differently. I see it now. All right, there we go. Close enough. Just to have something to see as a target. Oh, Hefe Molly, good morning, everyone. Or good afternoon, sorry. All right, let's take a look at where the indices are trading at the current moment so we can frame up our afternoon. All right, starting over at the dollar, we see a further retracement back into the bullish fair value gap here, lower than the 10 o'clock hour. So that low has now been swept. Rebalance would be down at 104.491. So we'll look for a price to push a little bit lower, and then we'll look to see if it wants to continue higher or whether lower prices are going to be sought. We do have relative equal lows down here. So That is a nice pool of liquidity if price wants to push lower. There's then a fair value gap below it, a bullish one if price wants to go higher. So it could sweep these lows, trade in here and go higher. All right, so more like this, even if it wants to go higher. And then if we look at our indices here, we do have a retracement during lunch back into a bullish fair value gap for the Dow. Dow has traded back into a bullish fair value gap. We also had E-mini S&P trade back into a bullish fair value gap. And we did not have that on Nasdaq. Nasdaq just pretty much opened the hour and just started buying. It gets a wick that's maybe a tick or two. So it's one of the smallest wicks you'll see. Look how far I have to stretch it just to get a little something. Okay, yeah, it looks like it's 2 or 3 wicks is the wick. I'm sorry, 2 or 3 ticks is the wick. But with that being said, we have Nasdaq last hour traded higher on its own without taking its sister indices with it. So we had the Dow actually selling off. We had S&P just kind of staying in the range. So it's very similar to what we saw around the opening bell this morning, where Nasdaq clearly was showing that it was the most bullish and the strongest of the three. We had S&P not really showing weakness, but also not showing any strength. And we saw the Dow pushing lower. You can see by this candle right here, this 9 o'clock candle pushed much lower, even though it recovered and closed above the fair value gap by the end of 9 o'clock. It still pushed really low, only to recover. Even over here, if we look at Friday afternoon, we can see a lot of wicks to the downside, even though they rejected. So relative weakness for the Dow. All right, let's switch back over. We're no longer in the macro here. Let's shift. Judging by the first portion of this leg here, looks like we possibly could have a classic buy day today. And since we've been heavily bullish since early morning, unless I see something major happening with price action, I'm going to continue that bias that we're going to continue to be bullish, even if we do see any type of pullback. We're going to be looking at just filling in sort of unbalanced price, and then a resume of price action to the upside. And if we move over here to the 4 hour, we can even see that we had these highs made last week on Wednesday. Then we had price pull back inside into the range with a rebalance of this unbalanced price right here. Traded down to rebalance it, close in a fair value gap, and immediately from there, then you saw it start to resume again. So we had external range liquidity pull back to internal range, and then we had this high salt as a further push towards external range liquidity. So now that's been taken. We're not 100% sure exactly how high price wants to go, um, but we do see that external range liquidity on the 4 hour has now been taken, and we could possibly see over the next, like this candle finishes at 2 o'clock. We'll see what the next candle that will take us to the end of the day. But overnight and heading in tomorrow, we could see a push back into internal range liquidity. I'm not sure the next candle will do it, so it may not have any impact on today. But as we look into Tuesday, especially without any red folders tomorrow, we may see a return back into the range. And then once the red folder resumes, I believe it's Wednesday at 2 p.m., then we may see that expansion to the upside again. Okay. As we push down, let's look for the test of the all-time high. And again, this was the all-time high prior to today. So this is last Wednesday, Thursday, I believe. We saw this morning, we saw it take the high, immediately reject back lower, find support in a fair value gap that was created as it was moving up to create this high, traded back into it. Now during lunch, traded above once again, closed above, still remaining above, but we'll see what happens when it trades back down and we get a retest of the area. We also have a mitigated price here with a fair value gap right here. So it's right at the all-time high. So this could be a good place for price to trade to, and then we'll look for that reaction. All right. First things first, if we get there, we'll need this to fail. So we need price to trade lower than here. It almost traded below. JR, what's up? Good afternoon. Right, it has traded below that level. We haven't had a closure yet, but it has traded below. Actually, let me check. Maybe it traded to the tick. It did. Trade it to the tick, to the lower extreme, to the lower limit there. It did not trade below. My mistake. Still got 1 minute left on this candle. There it is. Finally. Last 10 seconds of the candle. Now it retrace back inside of the range and it'll probably close inside. Right, so there's our measurement. Equilibrium, 18763. There it is. $755.25. Okay, just completely blew through that level. All right, optimal trade entry plate traded through that as well. We're down to 83.5%. Where it traded to. All right, so let's pay attention right here. This is the lunch low. And lunch low, remember we're marking that up from 12 until 1:30. So let's see if this level stays open for the next 90 seconds, and then it immediately gets taken. And in doing so, let's also drag this up and get us a lunch high, which obviously is the all-time high. I'll wait until the end of the day to move the all-time high marker. Queen, good job. Congrats. All right, 1 second. All right, now it's 1:30. Let's see if that lunch low is taken now. All right, equal lows. I'm in the breaker gave 24 handles. Okay. 2 days, sweet. Mhm. All right, we still have not taken out that lunch low. We got really close to it, but whatever reason, price doesn't want to trade to it just yet. And right here, we have a failed order block. This is the level I was looking for price to trade below. If we were going to retest the fair value gap here as well as the all-time high. But that also on the lower time frame, since it looks like an order block here, if you go down time frames, you'll see that that created a breaker. Right? So we had a high to a low, broke to a higher high, and then traded lower, closing lower, trading in on this candle at 126 for lower prices there. And that was the move that Queen was just talking about. Said it's delivered 26 points or so, starting at 18,768. 768 would have been the short. Did we take out lunch low? Oh, we did. Just the last candle. All right, we got it by one tick or so. All right, so there is a pool of liquidity that's been traded to. Now we want to see if price wants to push lower or if we're going to now see a bullish reaction back to the upside. Right. I would favor price to push lower and we get back into this range before pushing higher, but that doesn't mean that's exactly how it's going to happen. That's just what I would favor. Let me put this back on the 5 minute. Yep, I have Apex and I have Topstep. Do not have my funded futures or my. I should get that though, just to make sure I have them all covered. Because ultimately, I'd like to spread the wealth a little bit and not be so tied to one. Even though I am favoring Topstep, I'm considering doing one of the 250K evaluations for Apex, as well as a 150K evaluation for my funded futures. All right, let me get rid of this lunch low since it's already traded to it. All right. If we're looking at the other, I don't know how many of you are following the other indices, but the Dow is currently trading at its low of the day. It swept the low just during this hour. But we had been talking earlier and also this morning about Dow being the weakest of the three. So it's not surprising that it has the lowest value. And if we're going to look for shorts, the Dow is probably going to lead in that effort. We're going to probably have the most issues going short on Nasdaq because of how strong it's been and how it's been pushing higher. And the S&P, I don't know, that's probably one that I wouldn't be trading just because today it's kind of been ranging. We are going to trade down to the fair value gap. You say a 10-minute breaker? Let's go and see if we have 10 minutes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's smaller candles building here. Nothing super impulsive, but we do have a fair value gap created and potentially a second one here on the 1 minute. Let's go and look at the 3 minute and see what it looks like. Okay, looks a little better. Still nothing to get too excited about though. Get back over to the 5 minute. It's 18,744. Great, there's 18744. All right, we're back in the macro now. Let's drop down time frames. We had about 20 minutes of exact same price for the most part. And so now that we're in the macro for the next 20 minutes, let's see where price wants to go, whether we want to push higher back into the all-time high range, or if we're looking at sweeping lows and getting back into this hourly fair value gap below us. As I look at the other indices, yeah, we're definitely bearish this hour on all indices. The dollar just flipped to bullish. It's inside of a bullish fair value gap, traded all the way down to the lower limit, and now it's just above it. All right, so yep, so this is working out. I think we should probably remain short-term bearish and just see where price finds its footing, potentially in this fair value gap below us. But we do have 20 minutes in this macro period, and we'll see if we have any highs or lows taken during this time, or if we have any breakers that are formed and confirmed. Let me just start looking through all the time frames here. It's a little early. I would like to see it here, but we do have like a small little breaker right here. Again, I would have liked for this setup here to appear down here. All right, let's see if it continues to push. Maybe we'll actually get it down here in this area. All right, so we did not get a closure below. The next candle opened up a tick below, but we did not get a closure. kind of wait and see if a setup forms inside of the fair value gap. I'll put it back up here and let's just see what happens. See if price wants to trade above and close. That's a quarter. All right, everyone, it's 2 o'clock. Mm. I wish this price leg was more impulsive, similar to this one, where it completed it in 2 or 3 candles. See if we can survive on this short stop loss here. Again, the fact that these candles weren't impulsive, it's a little red flag there, or at least a yellow flag, a little cautionary tale. I'm in demo just to be completely transparent with you guys. Right. That ends that idea. All right, and I guess I knew I should have waited for it to trade a little bit lower. Mm-hmm. 4 more minutes on the macro. Mm-hmm. All right, there we go. Now we're in that area I was looking for earlier. Oh, all right. Since we're at the end of the macro, let's go back up to the 5 minute. Let's take a look at the measurement of where we are as far as retracement from the daily range. Yep, equilibrium's done. Optimal trade entry, not quite. We haven't gotten there yet. 18,696. Not forget, we still have the New York low. It was never traded into, down at 18,635. So it's about 100 points lower than where we are now. But if we do see a setup that's looking bearish, that could be where price is headed. Another 4 hour fair value gap. Yep, sure did. Yeah, we created one. Well, no, we didn't create one. We tapped into one this morning. That was on top of another one that was created. It looks like at 1800 yesterday, so the reopen of the market. And now you're right. We just created one at the closure of the last hour. Tapped into it, and now so far it's pushing bullish the last couple minutes. Now let me see what it looks like if I add the 4 hour to the 1 hour. Okay, it's a little cluttered. Hmm. Even though we had the big push down last candle, you see we still got a closure above these swing lows. This line I put in, still closure above that. Closure below would represent a market structure shift. All right, we can see the Dow still being the weaker of the three. It's well below the lows that were created on Friday, even below Friday's London low. So we're into Thursday price, or I'm sorry, Wednesday price action. Yeah, we're into Wednesday afternoon on the Dow with the level that it pushed down towards. Looks like S&P may have found some support down at this fair value gap at 53.24. We'll see in about 40 minutes if it did or not, but it looks like potentially it did. And Nasdaq, of course, had a big fair value gap here. It's currently sitting inside of it, and so we'll see what happens there. Oh. I think Nasdaq also traded into equilibrium or consequent encroachment. Sorry, consequent encroachment of the fair value gap, and it did. All right, so now we're looking to see where it wants to trade from here. I would imagine it wants to go a little higher, but we do still got, like I said, we got 40 minutes left on the hourly candle. But consequent encroachment is a good level to trade to. Yeah, no, appreciate it, Ray. Yep, we can see these for each of the candles. The candle bodies continue to close above the fair value gap. We don't have a single body inside the fair value gap. In fact, let me remove this line. Hey, Art, I feel you. I know exactly where you're coming from. Saturday and Sunday used to be, easily the best days of the week. Now it's still nice. I still like Saturday and Sundays, but there does feel like there's something missing. I'd rather be looking at the charts in live real trading as opposed to just back testing. All right, nice impulsive candle here, pushing out of the fair value gap we were looking at earlier. So we did get a big push in, rejection, a couple more pushes in, but again, the bodies are above. So we continue to reject out of this area. And now we see a push back towards these local highs of the last hour. Hey, now that we're halfway through the hour, let's take another look at the indices and just get a quick update. All right, so price was pushing upwards on the dollar. So we did see a bullish candle starting out the hour for the dollar. It is now retraced and now pushing towards lower prices back into the bullish fair value gap. So we'll see where that ends up and what happens once it gets there, what type of reaction we get. But if you look at all three indices, they were all selling to start the first half of this hour here. But they all are now rejecting that lower price and pushing higher. We see S&P and Nasdaq were inside of bullish fair value gap. So that was the reason for the bullish push now and for the rejection out of that price level. However, on the Dow, there wasn't a fair value gap there. However, it is mimicking the exact same type of price structure where we are seeing a rejection and higher prices. It hasn't quite turned to a bullish candle yet, but it looks like it's on its way. So we'll continue to monitor this for the next 25 minutes before this hour is up. But I just wanted to show you what was going on with price since we were watching Nasdaq, that the other two are also doing similar things. I mean 754. Okay, so we need to close above where we are right now on the 3 minute. See where we are. Okay, not quite. We'll see what this candle brings us. Since Queen has called out a level. I didn't realize here on the 3 minute how it actually looks pretty good. I drew it up on the 1 minute, which wasn't nearly as clean as this. The 5 minute wasn't great either, but this 3 minute actually looks pretty good. Yeah, actually, I like the 145 a little better clean just because it's for one, it's larger, and for two, it swept these lows here. So I would go from this low all the way up to this high. So it'd be a larger range there. This breaker would be fully inside of this one. But here we are. Let's just see. Let's just see what we get here. Yep. Yeah, you're right. This one is a better setup here. Right. Fully engulfing this one. Takes a little bit longer to confirm, but hopefully this can be a breakaway gap. We can get a closure above, trade back to consequent encroachment, and then somewhere out. I'm going to move that back up. Oops. Oops. Right, so there's a confirmation. We have that. $769 TB1. Look at the retracement we have here. We're into optimal trade entry from the leg down starting at around 1 o'clock till just before 2:30. Yep. Yep. Yeah. So I had 773 as a target, just because I had a 1 to 2 trade. Well, I wanted a 1 to 2, but um, as you can see, once it confirmed the breaker, there was no retracement back down, so there was no entry. But if you take 773, that'll be roughly 20 points, about 19 points, it looks like, if you got in at the breaker. Yep. Let's get back up to the 5. Yep. So we'll need to break through this bearish fair value gap here. We just mark that up so everyone can see here on the 5 minute. Need to break through and close above. We need to do that. Now we do have the macro coming up in about 4 minutes or 3.5 minutes here. And that could also provide an entry that will then send price higher. Oh no, queen. Oh, that's tough. Yeah, let's see if it gets down there. Yep. We do have to be aware that, yep, we had this 5-minute fair value gap here that it did not trade above. It didn't even put a wick above it. It traded almost to the limit, but didn't trade above it. So we'll see. And so it looks like it's tapped right at the upper limit of the breaker. Mm. Mhm. All right, 3 minutes before power hour. We just had several more taps into the breaker. Oh, the link's calling you. Give me a second. Let me find it. Here you go, Ray. All right, we're tapped in. Let's see what happens now. I was hoping to get in somewhere around consequent encroachment. And let's see now if this works out for us. Okay, awesome. We're looking for this to be broken. that trend line. We need it broken. This is a Tehran. This is a demo trade. All right, looks like we have not had a closure above what was previously the all-time high from last week. We had a push into the area here with a rejection, and now we're trying it once again. All right, I'm going to move the break even since we've swept the most recent high before the target, just in case everything turns around and moves against me. Edge of the breaker, 754 to 773. It's about 19 from the edge of the breaker. Another 2 minutes before this candle closes. Yeah, I hear you, Queen, for sure. Let's see if we can get 5 more points. Get up to 773. Thirty seconds remaining. Goes above this bearish fair value gap at 767. You got to be kidding me. One more tick. You couldn't give me one more tick. At least we closed above the fair value gap. So I'll delete this. Doesn't want to give me that last tick. So we'll just take 450 then. Close it out. That's fine. And then watch now, it's going to go grab it now that I close my trade. This always works out this way. See, there it is. Oh, price is so funny and predictable at the same time. Yep. Yeah, it worked out. Definitely worked out. That was good to see. Yeah, Queen. I wanted to go for consequent encroachment, but I do know how it likes to sometimes not quite get there. So I went for an entry that was like a handle above. But these type of push down here, they generally scare me when looking at the breaker, and so that's why I wanted a consequent encroachment entry. All right, so we have a lunch high at 18,794 as far as session highs are concerned. And then we have the New York low still way down here at 635. At the moment now we have S&P and Nasdaq with nice sized bullish candles this hour. The Dow is pretty much staying put where it was, so it's not making a lot of progress so far in the first 20 minutes here. But we do see the dollar buying, showing a small bullish candle. So let's go ahead and take a look at that before we finish out our session today. We still have another 40 minutes plus 10 after the hour, so about 50 minutes left today. But we can see here the dollar is buying, so it's in between the selling, the SIBI bearish fair value gap and the BISI, the bullish fair value gap here is trading right in the center there. So we'll see what it does. This is what I'm talking about the Dow. It's pretty much around where it started, so it did trade up higher, but it's already retraced back down. But again, these two are coming out of bullish fair value gap. So we see a push coming from S&P, and the push from Nasdaq came last hour, and now we just see a continuation of that. Unlike S&P, we do have relative equal highs. So this may represent Nasdaq pushing higher, looking to get rid of these equal highs and take that level. If we do take that level, I don't have it on this chart. On my other chart, we'll look and see where the 1.25 standard deviation is. Okay. I have it there, 18,843. 18,843. Yeah, you're right, Molly. It is Monday, and without the impulse from a high impact news event, not too bad. But what I've noticed is that usually the afternoons are a little slower. So whatever the daily range is going to be, you'll get a bulk of that in the morning. Then the afternoon generally is a bit slower, even if you do get a move up between 2 and 3. You usually don't even realize you made that kind of movement until the end because of how slow it moves. Mm, that's a good move, Molly. I think that's probably some advice I should take. Yep. 3-minute bullish breaker. Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, for sure. 753, 770. Equal highs here. This will likely be taken as well. Maybe it'll trade into this bearish fair value gap or maybe higher. We'll see. Lunch high 18,794. $760 for a push back up. $760. Okay. Oh, I see. Probably. Right, let's test that theory. Let's see if 760 does give us a push up. All right, J stock, I just put a long tool there. I'm not going to take an entry or anything, but we'll just look at the tool and see how price delivers if it is able to retrace back down to 18,760. All right, it's currently inside of the bearish fair value gap here. I'm not sure it's going to trade below this area right here. So we may actually not get back down here. Yep. Yep. Let's see where we are here. All right. We still have not closed above this bearish fair value gap. All right. We just did, just as I was drawing it. What a waste of effort. Now let's see if we actually create a bullish one on this side and price continues to buy up, leaving a gap here. So basically making this an inverse. Like that entry was 18,777. All right, I'll drop this long tool, clean up screen a little bit. Okay. Still got another 2.5 minutes before the candle closes. We're now just after 3:30. Yeah, it is looking nice now. You're right about that. And it traded right down to it as well, down 759. I'm expecting a bullish reaction out of it. Let's see if we get it. Yeah, that's why I went back and redrew it, because I thought that it may still be relevant. All right, so you got your 5 points. All right, looks good. That's a minute of the candle. Let's see if we can get a bullish push here at the end and close somewhere up here. Color, slightly bearish Dow. Mm. And then we have a bullish S&P and Nasdaq. Oh, Triple C, what's going on? Yeah, I did have a good trip. It's good to be back though. I'm happy to be back. I trust you had a good week of trading last week. Yeah, J Stock looked like maybe you were onto something with that taking a quick scalp. Doesn't look like price is in a hurry to move anywhere. Hmm. All right, so we had to trade back into the area and now a rejection. So it traded as low as 755. Oh, Molly, I went back to North Carolina to see my parents. All right, I'm going to drop this down to the 1 minute. We do have about 3.5 minutes before we get to the macro, but I'll leave it at the 1 minute. We'll just watch it from here. Oh, computer science. Nice. Had- Funny story. Funny story. I'm glad you just mentioned that. Coming out of high school, that was LSU is where I was going to go to school, and I was going to major in computer science. So that was 26 years ago. I was considering that. Yeah, I'm sure your son is happy to be done with school, at least for now, unless he's going for an advanced degree. All right, Alex. Glad you made some good trades today, Alex. Good job. Sweet. That's amazing, Triple C. And going into computer science, he definitely challenged himself. All right, this level is invalidated. Let's drop that as well. We are now back into the breaker. You know, let me shift this down for our unicorn setup. I'll shift it. A.m. this morning. We were right back there. I mean, not like we went far away, but we're right back where we were just after the opening range at 10 o'clock. Okay, I didn't realize we had tapped into consequent encroachment there. That would have been a nice re-entry. Yep, let's also do a measurement to look at our afternoon low up to the most recent swing high and just see where we are. All right, so we just hit equilibrium on the retracement back down. At the same spot is also consequent encroachment of the breaker. Oh, that's right. We're supposed to be on the 1 minute. We are inside of the macro period. We love it when during the macro, we trade back into the breaker, whether it's for a second time or even the first time. Obviously, we feel a little stronger about the first retracement into a breaker. But the second one, it could work. We're at the end of the day. We got about 17 minutes left on prop firm trading. So let's see if we can get something good out of this one. It's looks like we're going from 744 to 778. So it's all right. That's a good little range. Let's tighten that in some. We're looking at a 1 to 2. So we're looking at about 25 points here. Oh, Triple C, you were supposed to go to LSU for football. Okay, I didn't see that. Yeah, wow. Yeah, things happen. I ended up selecting Tennessee, and so I never made it to LSU. But that was LSU was high on my list. I was looking forward to it. That was back in the Gary DiNardo era. Hmm. That was an aggressive push down. Yeah, it does look like it wants to shoot down. I put the long tool up to see if this breaker would work for a second time, but maybe not. Triple C, you sound like my dad. My dad said the same thing. He said that's where my tuition money went, so that's my school. 4 hour consequent encroachment fair value gap. And close. Let me see. Let me go to that. Oh yeah, it looks like we got really close to consequent encroachment, just a couple points. Over 703. So here, when we push down at 2 o'clock, we were only a handful of points away from consequent encroachment there, that 4 hour fair value gap. Yeah, it could be that that's where either overnight trading will land, or maybe sometime tomorrow we'll trade through that. Yeah, if we're gonna get a move higher, it's got to get up and go now. All right, let's see how this candle closes. Not very strong. All right, looks better. Let's go. Good job. Let's go. Hey, there's that retest high from last week, 18,760. Let's see if it will keep going. Right, keep it up. 4 o'clock now. We got 10 more minutes of trading for all prop firms. All right, there's the breaker delivering for a second time. Did all of that in 2 candles, 2 minutes. So it's delivered 25 points so far. Let's see if it delivers 50 and hit that lunch high. All right, Queen. See you tomorrow. Definitely, it was good. Good coming back. Good talking to everyone again. Yep. Oh, Jay Stock. Good. Good. Hope to see everyone back tomorrow. For everyone who's leaving now, don't forget to hit the like button on your way out and subscribe if you're new and haven't already. We're back at it tomorrow morning at 9:15. And if you can't make the morning session, then we can see you at 1300 if you're looking for more of the afternoon. Appreciate you, Ray. Definitely. Right. Looks like we may not get that lunch high, but it was able to push out another 25 points for anyone who took that entry, or even if you took the breaker from the edge, probably delivered somewhere between 17 points and 17, 19 points, somewhere in there. Hopefully you're able to grab some of that. All right, Molly, see you tomorrow. All right, as we're winding down, if we have anyone who has any burning questions or anything, throw it in the chat. All right, while we're waiting, let's take a look at the others. I just had something just popped up that I wanted to talk about. All right, so all day we've been talking about how the Dow is the weakest and has been pushing lower, even into last Wednesday's price action. Whereas we see S&P still up here, hasn't even traded into Friday's trading range, and neither has the Nasdaq. Friday's trading range is down here and hasn't traded down there yet. So what I was looking at was last week. Last week we had a pretty sizable retracement. If you look, you can see the high on like Thursday, and then we had a deep retracement into a bullish fair value gap. Same thing on Nasdaq. We had a high on Thursday and pretty deep retracement into these bullish fair value gaps. But if we take a look over here, we didn't get that for the Dow. The Dow would have needed to trade down here, and it didn't. So that leads me to believe that's why we're seeing the Dow now trading lower, because it's trying to catch up from last week where the other two already did its retracement, and the Dow was unable to do so. And so now is the time for it to make that retracement, get back down to these S&D zones, tap into this fair value gap. And depending on what happens overnight, tomorrow we could see them link back up and see them then trading in sync once again. So we'll take a look at that tomorrow and see if they are all linked back together. Hopefully overnight hours will give them that opportunity, and we won't have to wait all day tomorrow for that to happen. But I just wanted to point it out that I saw it. It wasn't just that the Dow was being different. The Dow was different last week, whereas the Dow was a stronger one. I didn't trade last week, so I didn't get a chance to make that comparison, but that's most likely why the Dow is seeing that retracement now. Hopefully they link back up soon. Right. And we're down to the last 3 minutes here. Final 3 minutes. Back to the breaker. So it delivered to 25 points, and now it's back to its origin from 10 minutes ago. Oh, nice one, Queen. At least you got it. All right, I think price is pretty much falling off here and stopping where it is. And I don't see any additional questions or anything in the chat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to end the session today right here. And I want to thank you all for being here once again. Thanks for coming back after I was away for 8 business days, or not 8 business, 6 business days. But it was good. It was good. I did enjoy today's session. Glad you all were here. And I look forward to talking to you again tomorrow morning, 9:15. Have a good evening, everyone. Hope everyone is able to back test or whatever it is you do for leisure. And I'll talk to you tomorrow. Oh yeah, Triple C. Yes, definitely. $19, $50,000 account for Topstep. Today is the final day. If you do like that promotion, just understand you'll need to use Topstep X trading platform, which is very similar to TradingView, but it's their own proprietary platform. So if you want to use that, they're offering a 50,000 evaluation account for $19. Basically, it's $30 off of any of the evaluation accounts. So whether you want to do 150, 100, or 50. If you do 50, obviously the $30 is a larger discount of the total, so it's a better deal. That's why I mentioned it. But yeah, if anyone wants to do it, there's a link in my description for Topstep. And if you're into Apex, there's a 90% off promotion going on for the next 3 days. So it expires, I believe, at the end of Monday. So Wednesday, like Wednesday night, late Wednesday night, maybe early Thursday morning. But anyway, those links are in my description. Go into the social media / Discord link, and then it'll take you where you can click on it and, do what you need to do from there. It's also $19 for the 250 account as well. Oh, okay. Wow, that's super cheap. Alrighty, everyone. Take care. 9:15 tomorrow morning. Talk to you then. Have a good one. Oh, I didn't realize I was hiding behind the mic. Shouldn't have been slouching. All right, everyone. Take care.